Earth is just a primitive dirt ball, a pathetic planet of apes fit only to grovel at our feet. The arrogant words of the alien Klingon general crackled through the Defiance's comms, dripping with contempt. Surrender now, and we may show mercy. Commander Justin Tucker gripped the armrests of his captain's chair, knuckles white, barely containing his rage. The nerve of these Klingon bastards, spitting on humanity's homeworld like it was worthless, demanding subservience like humans were mere cattle to be corralled. Justin took a deep breath and leaned forward, his voice low and controlled as he replied, "Klingon vessels, this is Commander Tucker of the UES Defiance. I will not mince words. Take your offer of surrender and shove it up your alien ass. Humanity will never bow to invaders and tyrants. If you want Earth, you'll have to come and take it, if you think you're strong enough." Killing the transmission, Justin turned to face his bridge crew. Determination burned in their eyes, reflecting his own. "Sound battle stations. Power up weapons and shields. Patch me through to the fleet." It was time to show the Klingons the true mettle of humanity, to make them choke on their arrogance. For decades, tensions had been rising between the rapidly expanding Klingon Empire and the Human Federation. Skirmish after skirmish, arms race upon arms race. The conquest-hungry Klingons viewed humans as primitives ripe for subjugation. Weak, inferior, a species of prey to be hunted down. But the Klingons had made one critical mistake. They had underestimated human tenacity and ingenuity. Push humanity into a corner and it would come out swinging with everything it had. Earth had united under the threat, pooling its resources into a formidable defense fleet and advanced R&D programs. What they lacked in numbers, they made up for in skill, guts, and bleeding-edge tech. Justin's small but crack crew were the pride of the fleet. Second in command, Travis, a born leader steady under fire. Ace pilot Maria, dancing her ship through enemy formations. Brilliant engineer Ari, always cooking up genius solutions on the fly. "All ships, this is Commander Tucker," Justin broadcasted to his assembled fleet floating in high orbit. Dozens of human warships, sleek and bristling with cannons. "We all heard that Klingon filth. We all know what's at stake. Our world, our people, our very future. Today we strike back and show them what happens when you dare insult humanity. Intel shows the Klingons are amassing invasion forces to subjugate Earth. We're going to hit them first, hit them hard, and send them running back to their empire with their tails between their legs. No mercy, no quarter. Time to bring the pain." A chorus of affirmatives and cheers roared back through the comms from his captains. The fleet was ready to fight like lions to defend the pride. One way or another, this conflict would end today. The fate of Earth, of all humanity, hung in the balance. The Klingons would regret the day they challenged a species that refused to yield, who fought like devils when their home and loved ones were threatened. "All ships, set course for the Klingon staging point. Maximum burn. Let's go remind those alien bastards why we're called the Human Federation." The Defiance leapt forward, impulse drives flaring blue-white, on a heading for war and glory and humanity's very survival. The human fleet tore through space, engines roaring as they closed in on the Klingon staging point. Justin stood on the Defiance's bridge, his eyes hard and focused. It was time to strike a blow that would send shockwaves through the Klingon Empire. "Travis, you're up," Justin said into the comm. "Give them hell and keep their eyes on you. We'll handle the rest." "Roger that," Travis replied, his voice steady. "All right, people, let's rattle their cages. Attack pattern Delta 5. Keep those fighters off us and target their cruisers with everything we've got." A portion of the human fleet peeled off, Travis in the lead, and accelerated towards the Klingon armada. Within moments, the void lit up with a storm of weapons fire and explosions as the diversionary force clashed with the enemy's front lines. Taking advantage of the chaos, Justin turned to Maria and Ari. "That's our cue. Get us on that flagship." Maria nodded, her hands already flying over the controls of their cloaked shuttle. With expert precision, she weaved through the battle raging around them, slipping past Klingon sensors and defenses. Ari tapped furiously at his console, infiltrating the enemy's systems, searching for weaknesses to exploit. The shuttle shuddered as Maria docked them with the Klingon flagship's airlock, matching their approach vector to avoid detection. "We're in," she reported, her eyes narrowed with focus. Justin, Maria, and Ari moved quickly, weapons ready as they boarded the massive enemy vessel. Ari took the lead, his wrist computer interfacing with the foreign systems. "I'm in their network," he said, his voice tinged with satisfaction. "Uploading the virus now. Once it propagates, their shields will be scrap metal." Maria consulted her schematics of the ship. "Reactor core is 3 decks down, half a click aft. I'll plant the charges." Justin gripped his rifle tightly. "I'll find Zephyr. It's time we had a chat, face to face." They split up, each focused on their crucial mission objectives. Maria stalked through the corridors, neutralizing any Klingon crewmen she encountered with ruthless efficiency. She reached the reactor core, planting the explosive charges at critical structural points. Ari's fingers danced across his computer as he remotely guided the virus through the Klingon ship's systems. Displays flickered and alarms blared as the malicious code took hold, spreading like wildfire to the rest of the fleet. One by one, the enemy shields winked out, leaving them vulnerable. Justin kicked down the door to Zephyr's command chamber, his weapon leveled at the startled Klingon general. "It's over, Zephyr. Your fleet is crippled. Your invasion is finished." Zephyr snarled, drawing his jagged blade. "Insolent human! I'll tear the heart from your chest!" They clashed in a whirlwind of strikes, Justin's rifle against Zephyr's searing plasma sword. The Klingon was fast and immensely strong, his blows shaking Justin to his core. But Justin fought with the skill and tenacity of a human pushed to the brink, refusing to yield. Zephyr stumbled, his guard faltering for just an instant. Justin seized the opening, disarming the general and leveling his rifle at Zephyr's head. The Klingon glared up at him, defeat and rage etched in his features. "Do it then, human," Zephyr spat. "Finish me." Justin's finger hovered over the trigger. The temptation to end the Klingon once and for all was powerful, but instead he lowered his weapon. "No, humans fight with honor, not cruelty. Remember that, Zephyr." Justin turned away, leaving the general stunned and seething on the deck. He rendezvoused with Maria and Ari, confirming their objectives were complete. They raced back to the shuttle, dodging enemy fire and vengeful Klingons. As they blasted away from the flagship, the explosives detonated. The reactor core ruptured, engulfing the mighty vessel in a blinding fireball. Secondary explosions tore through the compromised fleet like a chain of supernovas, decimating the once proud armada. On the main battlefield, the human forces pressed their advantage. With the Klingon shields disabled and their flagship destroyed, the invaders fell into disarray. Human ships tore into their ranks, meting out punishment for every offense the Klingons had committed against Earth. Zephyr, his face twisted with humiliation and grudging respect, gave the order to retreat. The Klingons disengaged, fleeing the system as fast as their battered ships could carry them. The invasion had been shattered, the danger to Earth averted for now. News of the victory spread like lightning across the human Federation. Celebrations erupted on 100 worlds as people cheered the heroes who had stood against the Klingon onslaught and prevailed. Justin and his crew were hailed as the saviors of humanity, their names etched into legend. But even as the revelry reached a fever pitch, Justin stood apart, his eyes fixed on the stars. He knew this was only the beginning. The Klingons would not forget this defeat, nor would they forgive. The war was not nearly finished. Reports began filtering in from the far reaches of Klingon space, whispers of rebellion, of conquered races rising up against their oppressors, emboldened by humanity's example. The Klingon Empire, once an unstoppable juggernaut, now faced insurrection and chaos on a dozen fronts. In the halls of the Klingon High Command, the mood was one of shock and fury. They had been certain of their supremacy, of the inevitability of humanity's defeat. To be beaten back by those they considered inferior was a shame that burned like acid. Factions emerged among the Klingon leadership, divided on how to proceed. The hardliners demanded swift and overwhelming retaliation, a show of force to crush the humans once and for all. But others, Zephyr among them, urged caution. They had underestimated the humans gravely, and to attack again without understanding the true scope of their miscalculation would be folly. As the Klingons schemed and argued, Justin knew humanity had to act. They had bought themselves precious time, but the Empire would not stay in disarray forever. They needed to strike another blow, to keep the Klingons reeling and off balance. An opportunity presented itself in the form of a distress signal from a distant alien civilization, one with technology that could shift the balance of power firmly in humanity's favor. The Klingons had long oppressed these aliens, but with the Empire's grip weakening, a well-timed intervention could liberate them and forge a vital alliance. Justin gathered his crew and proposed the mission, a covert strike to aid the alien rebellion and secure their advanced tech. It was a gamble, but the payoff could be the difference between victory and annihilation. Travis frowned, pointing out the risks. The Klingons will be watching for us now. They won't fall for the same trick twice. Agreed, Maria chimed in. But we can't just sit back and wait for them to regroup. Fear is the real enemy here. We need to keep the pressure on, hit them where they're vulnerable. Ari leaned forward, his eyes gleaming. I've been in contact with a resistance cell among the aliens. They're ready to rise up, but they need our help. I can coordinate with them, get us inside. Justin listened to his crew's input, weighing the options carefully. It was a delicate balance, striking hard enough to hurt the Klingons, but not overextending their own limited resources. The fate of humanity hung on his choices. But one thing was certain in Justin's mind. They had to keep fighting. Earth depended on it. Failure was not an option. The Klingons had started this war, but humanity would finish it. Justin looked around at his crew, at the dedication and courage etched on their faces. They were the best Earth had to offer, and he knew they would never stop until the job was done. All right, Justin said, his voice ringing with conviction. Let's get to work. We've got an empire to break and a civilization to save. Time to remind the Klingons why you should never pick a fight with humanity. As the Defiance set course for their next crucial mission, Justin allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. The Klingons had sought to conquer Earth, to crush humanity beneath their boots. But all they had done was awaken a sleeping giant, and now that giant was ready to fight back with everything it had. The Klingon Empire was about to learn the true meaning of human defiance. The Defiance dropped out of warp near Aldaria, the planet's blue-green surface obscured by a swarm of Klingon warships. Justin stood on the bridge, surveying the enemy forces through the main view screen. Ari, status on our contact? Ari's fingers flew across his console. I've established a secure link with Varric. He's ready to move on our signal. Justin nodded. All right, people, let's do this by the numbers. Travis, coordinate with the fleet. Keep those Klingon bastards busy. The human armada surged forward, weapons blazing. Space lit up with phaser fire and photon torpedoes as the two forces clashed. Justin and his team slipped away in a cloaked shuttle, using the chaos as cover. They touched down in a secluded valley, the lab's entrance hidden beneath dense foliage. Maria took point, her rifle sweeping the area as they advanced. A Klingon patrol emerged from the tree line. Maria dropped two with precise headshots before they could raise the alarm. Inside the lab, they found Varric hunched over a massive device. The Aldarian scientist looked up, his four eyes blinking rapidly. You made it. We must hurry. The weapon is nearly complete, but... Alarms blared. Ari's eyes widened as he checked his tricorder. Multiple hostiles incoming. They've found us. Justin grabbed Varric's arm. No time. We're leaving now. They burst out of the lab to find themselves surrounded. Klingon disruptor fire filled the air. Travis and Maria laid down covering fire as the others scrambled for cover. A towering figure strode through the smoke. Zephyr, his scarred face twisted in a snarl. Surrender, humans. You cannot escape. Like hell, Justin spat, ducking behind a fallen tree. Ari, tell me you've got a plan. Ari was already working, fingers dancing across the weapon's control panel. I think I can... Yes, everyone cover your eyes! A blinding beam of energy erupted from the cannon, carving through the Klingon ranks. Screams filled the air as soldiers were vaporized or thrown back by the shockwave. Go, 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 Justin yelled. They sprinted for the shuttle, half carrying the weapon between them. Maria cried out as a disruptor bolt caught her in the leg. Travis scooped her up without breaking stride. The shuttle's engines roared to life as they piled in. Justin took the controls, rocketing them into orbit. The Klingon fleet was in disarray, human ships pressing their advantage. All ships, this is Commander Tucker, Justin broadcast. Mission accomplished. Let's get the hell out of here. The human armada disengaged, jumping to warp with their hard-won prize. In the Defiance's medbay, Maria gritted her teeth as the doctor worked on her wound. How bad is it, Doc? You'll live to fight another day, the doctor replied with a grim smile. Justin entered, his face etched with concern. Status report? Ari looked up from where he and Varric were examining the energy cannon. This thing is incredible, Justin. With some modifications, we could penetrate any Klingon shield. Good, Justin nodded, because I have a feeling we're going to need every advantage we can get. On the bridge, reports were already coming in. Colony worlds rising up against their Klingon oppressors, the tide of the war shifting. But even as they celebrated their victory, a cold dread settled in Justin's gut. He knew the Klingons wouldn't take this lying down. They'd hit back, and hit back hard. The real test was still to come. The liberation of Aldaria and acquisition of Varric's energy cannon sent shockwaves through the galaxy. As the human fleet regrouped, Justin knew the Klingons wouldn't take this lying down. His fears were confirmed when Travis burst onto the bridge of the Defiance, datapad in hand. Justin, we've got a problem, Travis said, his face grim. My contacts in the Aldarian resistance just sent this. Justin scanned the intel, his jaw clenching. Zephyr's leading a full-scale assault. They're going for Earth. Not just Earth, Travis added. They're hitting our shipyards and supply lines first. By the time they reach Sol, we'll be crippled. Justin smacked his head on the console. We can't let that happen. Ari, options? Ari's fingers flew across his station. There's a wormhole junction here, he said, highlighting a point on the star map. All Klingon fleets have to pass through it. If we can disrupt their transit. We could buy Earth time to prepare, Justin finished. He turned to his crew. I won't lie, this is a long shot, but it's our only play. Who's with me? Maria stood, favoring her recently healed leg. You know I'm in. One by one, the others nodded. Justin allowed himself a small smile. All right, let's go raise some hell. The Defiance dropped out of warp near the junction point, immediately cloaking. A massive Klingon station loomed before them, surrounded by patrols. There's our target, Justin said. Ari, you're up. Ari's hands danced across the transporter controls. In a shimmer of light, Justin and his team materialized inside the station. Alarms blared as Klingon security forces converged on their position. Maria, Travis, clear us a path to the control room, Justin ordered. Ari, with me. Disruptor fire filled the corridor. Maria ducked and rolled, coming up firing. Her precise shots dropped 2 Klingons before they could raise their weapons. Travis followed, laying down suppressing fire as they advanced. They fought their way to the heart of the station. Ari immediately set to work, his fingers a blur on the alien controls. I'm in their systems, he reported, rerouting power to tractor beams and defense grid. Outside, chaos erupted as the first wave of Klingon ships emerged from the wormhole. Caught completely off guard, they found themselves snared by their own station's tractor beams and hammered by friendly fire. That's it, keep them off balance, Justin urged. For hours, they wreaked havoc on Zephyr's invasion force. Ship after ship emerged, only to be disabled or destroyed. But their luck couldn't hold forever. Multiple contacts incoming, Maria warned. Big ones. Justin's blood ran cold as he saw Zephyr's flagship leading a massive armada. Time to go, people. They fought their way back to the extraction point, Klingon reinforcements hot on their heels. Travis stumbled as a disruptor blast caught him in the shoulder. Go! He yelled, grabbing Varric's cannon. I'll hold them off. Before Justin could protest, Travis opened fire. The devastating beam tore through the Klingon ranks, buying precious seconds. "Travis!" Justin screamed as the transporter beam took hold. The last thing he saw was his friend being swarmed by Klingon troops. Back on the Defiance, Justin stared at the empty space where Travis should have been. They'd dealt Zephyr a serious blow, but at a terrible cost, and Earth was still in danger. "What now?" Maria asked softly. Justin's eyes hardened. "Now we finish this, one way or another." Justin stared at the tactical display, his face illuminated by the eerie glow of countless red dots representing Zephyr's invasion force. The Defiance's bridge crew worked in tense silence, the weight of Earth's fate heavy on their shoulders. "We can't win this conventionally," Justin said, his voice low but firm. "We need a game changer." Ari's console beeped. He looked up, eyes wide. "Justin, I've got something from our Eldarian contacts. It's big." The crew huddled around Ari's station as he pulled up schematics of a massive weapon. Its sleek lines belied its terrifying purpose. "They call it the World Killer," Ari explained, his voice hushed. "A directed energy cannon capable of stripping away planetary defenses and scorching entire continents." Maria's face hardened. "Where is it?" Ari zoomed in on a heavily fortified shipyard. "Here, it's the linchpin of Zephyr's invasion plan." Justin's mind raced. If we could take control of that weapon, we could turn it against the Klingons, Maria finished. Justin nodded, but his expression remained grim. "It's a hell of a risk. We'd be severely outgunned until we got control." Maria stepped forward, her eyes blazing. "I'll lead the infiltration team. We get in, we take the World Killer, we get out." Justin opened his mouth to protest, but Maria cut him off. "Travis is still out there, Justin. I'm not leaving him behind." After a long moment, Justin nodded. "All right, but we do this smart. Ari, find us a window." Hours later, Maria, Ari, and Varric crouched inside a stealth pod, holding their breath as it drifted past Klingon patrols. Ari's fingers flew across a datapad. "I've identified a maintenance cycle," he whispered. "The World Killer will be powered down for exactly 17 minutes. The pod latched onto the massive weapon's hull with a soft thunk. Maria readied her weapon. "Let's move." They slipped through access hatches, using modified tricorders to avoid patrols. The first Klingon they encountered barely had time to look surprised before Maria's concussive round knocked him unconscious. 8 minutes left, Ari hissed as they reached the main control room. Varric immediately set to work on the alien controls. "I need time to reconfigure the targeting systems." Maria nodded. "You've got it. Ari, watch that door." Alarms suddenly blared. Maria cursed as she heard the thunder of approaching boots. "Ari, seal those blast doors!" Disruptor fire erupted as Klingon security forces swarmed the corridor. Maria and Ari returned fire, but they were quickly being overwhelmed. "We're out of time," Ari shouted. Maria made a split-second decision. "Varric, forget the reconfiguration. Just get those main cannons online." The World Killer hummed to life beneath their feet. Outside, chaos erupted as the massive weapon turned on the very shipyard housing it. Klingon ships exploded, caught completely off guard by friendly fire. A familiar figure materialized in the control room. Zephyr, his face contorted with rage. He launched himself at Justin, who had just arrived with reinforcements. The two leaders grappled, trading vicious blows. Justin's combat training was evident, but Zephyr's raw strength was overwhelming. Maria watched in horror as Zephyr pinned Justin, raising a disruptor to his head. In that moment, Maria saw the airlock controls. With a silent apology, she slammed her hand down. The rush of escaping atmosphere caught Zephyr completely by surprise. He clawed at the deck plating, but the vacuum was relentless. Maria watched as the Klingon commander was sucked into the void of space. "We've got control," Varric shouted triumphantly. Maria helped Justin to his feet. "Let's finish this." The World Killer's main cannon swiveled, targeting the heart of the Klingon shipyard. A blinding beam of energy lanced out, obliterating the staging ground for Earth's invasion in a single, devastating strike. As the glow faded, Maria turned to Justin. Now, let's go get Travis.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.